Hi, Will. How are you?
Hey, Hadley, I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. So I talked with Steve Reardon last week about the future of DPC and some relevant technologies that we're seeing for RFA product leaders. So I wanted to get your take on how companies are approaching their digital journeys.
Yeah, Steve probably shared a framework they call the Diamond, and it's sort of four sets of technologies. It's digital product creation, it's advanced analytics, it's smart connected product and operations, and all that's supported by a fourth piece around foundational technologies like PLM, digital asset management, and content management. And when we go into clients, our conversations are almost always about one or multiple of those technology sets. So we're seeing a ton of work in those technologies as sort of discrete initiatives. So we'll get called in to a client that has a digital product creation program, or they have a analytics program. That small team or a few people who are focused on key functional use cases, like creating a digital sample in the DPC space or in an analytics tool to improve line planning in the line planning space, for instance.
So in this approach to, tackling their digital journey, where would you say companies are getting value and how can they get a quicker win?
All these clients have spun up really capable teams in those discrete areas. There's definitely use cases to be had within, just digital product creation and, in reducing samples and in increasing speed and relevancy and being able to get to product imagery that can be used in multiple different ways faster than the traditional analog product development process. However, I think as we look forward, the one thing that I'm seeing is these four technology buckets really all converging into one thing. And we've already seen that a little bit between digital product creation and foundational technology as clients have recognized to be able to do this efficiently, they really need a strong connection between digital product creation, digital asset management, and PLM product data. So those two things are really converging. So while these companies are operating sort of discrete offenses, I think the ones who will be successful will be thinking about the long-term picture of these things all being sort of one initiative, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. So moving forward, where should they be focusing right now?
Well, there's still a lot of great work that they can do in discrete buckets around building the right foundations in each of those technical areas. But I do think within their technology teams and their business teams to be looking out, having a really clear eye on a future architecture that will enable that landscape when these technologies do emerge, so that there's free flow of data, open systems that allow access of data and images to the needs within the company that can utilize those.
For these companies, as they start to implement some of these initiatives, what impacts do you think they need to take into account for managing people and the process?
That's where the bulk of the work is. The technology in these areas is in a really good place. It's actually the people and the processes that aren't ready, as we still are working our way out of a pretty antiquated and analog parallel product creation system. So, most of the work that we're seeing, there's certainly a big technology strategy component on it, but it's really change and it's people management. As we work with more connected digital information, as those technologies converge, you're going to see less of a serial handoff-based workflow that teams are used to. And what you'll see is an opportunity for a more dynamic, agile, real-time workflow. More collaboration, faster speed using digital information, more real-time work that happens in parallel rather than in serial. And I think, because of that, you'll see changes to roles and responsibility. You'll see changes to decision rights as teams grapple with what's the most efficient way to get work done in a new world.
Well, thanks, Will. This was a great insight into the future of DPC and looking forward to see what comes next.
Yeah, thanks, Hadley.
Thank you. Bye.